Whether you're buying or selling your home, get the benefit of expertise.
Hey, well, compliments to the show. You're really hitting on the subjects and you're telling the truth. I appreciate you.
Meet the team at dangemus.com. And now, filling in for Dan Gemus, your host, Joyce Blackmere.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're having a great Sunday afternoon. I'm Joyce Blackmere, Director of Sales and Broker with the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team. I'm filling in for Dan and hosting the show this weekend. And with me in studio, I have Aaron Blackmere, Sales Rep with the team. Hello, Aaron.
Hello, Joyce.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And on the line, we have Christian Janisse from Simplyclose Law here to share some information for buyers and sellers, things that you need to know. Hi, Christian. How's it going?
Hey, how are you?
I am awesome. Thanks.
How you both
I feel
doing?
like I haven't seen you in a long time.
It does feel that way. And I miss Aaron. How are you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing great, man. I haven't seen you around a bit, but we'll have to catch up sometime.
So I've got some good tips for particularly for buyer clients. What I've been seeing a lot lately is, and this is not an uncommon thing, and I feel like I've talked about it previously on the show, but Joyce said it is an important topic, and it does come up a lot, and it's surrounding holdbacks, and that usually relates to buyers. So when somebody's buying a house, something will come up between the time that they sign the agreement and the time that they take possession. And usually it's something bad, you know, the fridge isn't working, the floor was damaged, there's a hole in the wall. And, you know, clients are usually pretty upset. They don't want to bear the cost, which is completely understandable. And one of the things that they'll say to me is, I think we should hold back some money. And obviously I try my best to make sure that we can either, you know, get the money up front, just getting like a price reduction, or getting the item fixed on the other side. Holdbacks are not something that you as the buyer can make that call. So in order for a holdback to happen, it usually has to be agreed to by the buyer and the seller. So if the seller doesn't agree to it, then you can't do the holdback. So a lot of clients are, well, who's going to cover the cost? What are we going to do? So I just think that going into things, buyers should be aware of that and, you know, do their due diligence beforehand, because a lot of times the holdbacks will relate to things that they could have technically discovered before they even put the offer in. And also be aware of that because it could affect your, you know, your closing day logistics. Like some clients will say, well, I'm not going to close unless they agree to a holdback of $500. Unfortunately, you have to close. Obviously, these real estate transactions come with quite a bit of liability. If you're buying somebody else's property and you refuse to close because the fridge isn't working, as frustrating as that is, if they're, you know, planning on buying another property, which is contingent on another property, and we talk about this pretty much every week, I feel like, the whole chain can end up resulting in, not over-exaggerating, tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over what you deem to be, you know, a $500 issue. And it could come back and bite you. And there's case law around that as well, like, you know, where buyers fail to close over issues that, as frustrating as they are relatively minor, and judges have said, you know, you should have closed and, you know, pursued your rights afterwards, as opposed to causing this chain of damages. But yeah, it's crazy. People are always saying, well, I don't understand why I can't make the call to do the holdback if the fridge isn't working. And I know it seems logical that, hey, it's not working, I should at least, you know, I shouldn't bear the cost. But the way the law works is that you have the right, but you have to do it afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what are some examples of things that buyers might ask for a holdback on?
Most common one, it relates to appliances. You know, the microwave's not working. And the biggest thing that I find with the appliances, and I guess the two of you might see it more, is I think what happens is when these buyers go and view so many properties, you don't always know if your offer is going to get accepted. So it's hard to triple check every single thing. So the challenge is that if I go to the other lawyer, depending how clever the seller or the other lawyer is, you'll say, oh, hey, the microwave's not working. And they'll say, well, it's never worked, and it didn't work beforehand. And you, as the buyer, have to prove that it was working beforehand, and that's very difficult to prove. So honestly, I would say appliances is the number one thing. I've had issues with like paint or like, you know, damage, like leaks in the roof. But appliances are by far the number one complaint. The stove's not working, the fridge isn't working, things of that nature.
Now, did you find holdbacks were more common during COVID era when things were wild, or more so now?
I think,
or I shouldn't say holdbacks as if it's a thing, but like the request for.
Honestly, less during COVID, and I think part of the reason was that the prices were just through the roof. So really it came down to economics. Buyer clients would say something like, oh, hey, yeah, like the fridge isn't working. But they were less concerned because the value of the house was probably going to go up by $10,000 in the next couple of months, right? So a $500, microwave or whatever, $200 microwave was not really something that they fretted over. But during COVID, it was crazy. People didn't really care about anything.
It's true.
I don't care. I'm buying the property as is. It could be decrepit. I don't care. It was wild. So yeah, I definitely get more requests now.
Yeah, I think during the pandemic too, it was like more of a panic thing where people didn't want to lose the house because you finally got an offer accepted, so you just went ahead with stuff.
Yeah, and I also think the interest rates had something to do with it, right, as well. Like the interest rates were very low, so I think people were maybe not less concerned because they didn't have to budget as intensely as they may now. Now that the rates, I've actually seen the rates coming down lately, but I think that with the low rates and how competitive it was and with the values going up, people didn't really put too much thought into it. It was kind of like the Wild West, to be honest. People were just buying houses. I had clients that didn't even care, like, if it closed. Like, if it's not going to close and I lose the deposit, I'll just go buy another one. Like, that was the cost of doing business. But yeah, there's a lot more requests for holdbacks now. And it's something that buyers need to turn their attention to beforehand. They need to double-check everything. And I know it's hard because there's a lot of things going on, and real estate moves quickly.
Yep. But it does highlight the importance of doing a home inspection. It highlights the importance of doing a final walkthrough as well. And, just...
due diligence.
Yeah, exactly. Overall due diligence, yeah.
Yeah, and like the other thing is that when you're buying a house, there's a lot of things that happen in a house. Like there's it's very difficult to get the house in the exact same state as when you bought it. Like sometimes maybe the microwave, like I've had clients complain like, oh, that's not the microwave that was there, but the previous microwave broke and they thought, oh, I should get a new microwave, but the person just bought a similar used microwave. And it's like, well, you don't get a brand new microwave, you get a used microwave, and it's not the same. And it's just, home ownership can be challenging because it's expensive and you definitely need to do your due diligence beforehand.
Yeah.
One of my biggest arguments is I sell real estate. I don't sell appliances. I don't work at the Brick or Leon's. I'm moving real estate, not appliances.
Oh, it's a cost. There's a cost associated with owning a home, right? Or costs, not a cost, costs. Christian, if people want to reach out to you, they have questions about what they've heard on the show or otherwise, how can they reach you?
They can contact us at 519-997-3775 or email us at hello@simplyclose.ca.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. As always, we'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Christian.
All right. So we're going to take another quick break. But I just want to let everybody know we'll be giving away a popcorn gift card in the next segment. So, Aaron, what caller do we want today?
Let's go with caller number 8.
Caller number 8, 519-792-2559, 519-792-2559. Caller number 8 will win a gift card to the Richmond Popcorn Company. There's still more to come right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.